let us now proceed to our second panel discussion. Medyo more serious yung topic natin. We'll get back to the games later. Following our first panel discussion, may idea na tayong lahat on when and where to invest to grow our finances. Pero kahit nagaano pa tayong knowledgeable kung saan tayo dapat mag-invest, mayroon pa ring iilan na mapagsamantala at nag-aalok ng investments. Hindi para tulungan ka na palagawin ang iyong pera, kundi para limasin ang iyong ipon, leaving you hanging and waiting for a return on investment that will never come. To help us identify illegal investment schemes and how we can report them to proper authorities, we will be joined by representatives from regulatory and enforcement agencies, as well as legal experts. Let us welcome on stage our panelists. Attorney Joanne L. Raniada, a former chief counsel at the SEC and now a private practitioner with expertise on capital markets, securities, and corporate governance. We also have attorney Bien Lawrence S. Gabato, a private law practitioner and professor who previously served as a counsel at the SEC. We also have Police Brigadier General Genesis L. Tolejano, retired, Director of the Presidential Anti-Organized Crime Commission. Next, we have the Director Philbert Catalino F. Flores III from the SEC Enforcement and Investor Protection Department. And of course, SEC Commissioner J.V. Paul D. Francisco. Let us also welcome back to the stage Ms. Salve Ibanez to moderate the second panel discussion for today. Let us give them a warm round of applause.
Hi, I'm back. And this time, about a topic that is less exciting than the other one because this is something that has to do with a lot of pain for investors, but it's important to talk about this para maiwasan ang mas maraming nai-scam. Lahat tayo may kakilala na probably na-scam na, whether sa pera o sa love. Sa pera o sa love. Pareho yan nai-scam. Or both, na mas masakit. Mas masakit na scam na sa love, tinangay pa yung pera mo. Yun ang mas matindi. But, hopefully, wala pa ditong nai-scam or kung na-scam na kayo, sana hindi na maulit. Para pag-usapan natin ngayon, si Com JV yung una kong tatanungin. Bakit ba, ano ang nagiging, paano ba malalaman ng mga tao kung ano yung legitimate at hindi? Paano nila maiintindihan anong scam lang ang legit? Ay, anong scam lang ang legit? Anong investment lang ang legit? At alin ang scam?
Well, salamat, Salve. Good afternoon, everyone. Sa SEC kasi, syempre, before you register, or rather, before you invest, check nyo muna sa SEC. Kasi una-una, dapat rehistrado yan na korporasyon. Hindi pwede yung mga individual lang at naglilibot-libot at nag-aalok ng investments. Dapat rehistrado po sa SEC, one. Pangalawa, meron hong lisensya, hindi enough yung registration lang. May tinatawag tayong secondary license. No? It's a license issued by the SEC for those who are eligible. Brokers, dealers, and in fact, may pangatlo pa. Aside from the companies themselves, yun mismo mga ahente, yung mga individual na nag-aalok, meron din ho yung kaakibat na may sarili silang lisensya. No? The SEC conducts examinations for these people so that protektado po yung publiko, alam nila what they're doing, you know, and they're providing proper advice, no, for your investments. So importante yon. Registered primary license, meron pong secondary license from SEC, including licenses of the individual agents na nagbebenta ng mga products.
What happens behind the scenes? pag ito ay kumukuha ka ng license or registration. Bakit ko tinatanong to JV? Kasi lagi ako pag meron akong ini-interview yung scammers, totoo po ito, bilang part ng trabaho ko, minsan, may mga nai-interview ako face-to-face na ngayon ay nasa behind bars already. So, pagka nakakausap ko sila, ang sinasabi nila sa akin, yung SEC, pinapahirapan lang kami, okay naman kami. Gusto naman namin silang kausapin pero parang baka politika o di kaya, nanghihingi ng whatever. Bakit importante na may secondary license? At ano yung nakaakibat na kailangan nilang magawa para magkaroon sila ng secondary license? Baka kailangan maintindihan ng investors why.
Yeah, so you're correct, no, Salve. Mabusisi ang SEC, no, to be able to sell, to get a secondary license to sell investments. You have to be an investment company. So, mataas yung capital requirements yan. If I'm not mistaken, it's 200 million, diba? 200 million paid up capital to register as an investment company. So, and then, of course, titingnan namin sino yung mga tao behind the corporation. Anong track record niyan? Talaga bang may pera? Ano yung produkto? Na is it a sustainable business model? Kasi, syempre, alam naman natin, I mean, those who have experience in investments, I guess, even just observing, di ba? Paano ba yung isang kumpanya, how does it make money? Of course, dapat alamin nyo kung ano yung business behind it. Hindi kasi kung marami yung mga scams, I mean, most of the time, they say, 20% guaranteed. Mataas yung interest.
In 5 days.
Guaranteed in 5 days or whatever. But any well-meaning businessman or investment advisor will tell you, that's impossible. Kasi how can an investment, meron talaga hong risk, hindi ba? There's a risk whenever you invest. So no legitimate business can say, guaranteed yan, pikit mata. Every 10 days, 15 days, meron kayo. Come rain or shine, fixed amount. No legitimate business can do that. So
Ibig sabihin, JV, sorry to butt in, kung ganon yung business model nila at nag-apply sila ng secondary license, ang sagot ay,
bawal yan.
bawal yan. Okay.
Hindi makakakuha ng yan. Scam yan. Kumbaga, scam yan. Too good to be true.
Okay, Attorney Philbert and Director Genesis, in terms of enforcement, marami na kayong nakikita at marami na ring dumaan sa inyong mga mata na nakita nyo talaga kung ano yung naging epekto ng scammy operations. Ano pa yung mga red flags na nakikita nyo dun sa mga scams?
Red flags. Una, pagka inimbitahan kayo sa investment imbitahan kayo sa chat group, Telegram, or kailangan imbitahan pa kayo para makapasok sa isang chat group. Medyo kabahan na kayo doon kasi mahirap kayong pumasok sa chat group, madali kayong tanggalin. So, yun ang isa sa mga warnings namin. Pangalawa, yung mga guaranteed. Yung Howey test, please tandaan nyo yun, yung Howey test. Kasi, yun lang talaga ang dahilan nyo, makikita nyo na kagad kung yung business na yun o yung ino-offer sa inyo is legit. Pag nakita nyo na yung 4 na requisites ng Howey test, yun na, tatanong nyo na, secondary license, nakarehistro ba yung securities na yan, nakarehistro ba yung nagbebenta? May sagot kagad yun, wala. Hindi kami kailangan magano. Yun ang ano na. Mataas, yung mabilis makukuha nyo kagad yung pera. Yung sinabi ni JV, guaranteed ang income, walang makakapag...
Attorney Philbert, yun pa naman ang gustong-gusto ng mga Pilipino.
Kasi,
mabilis ang kita, mataas.
Isa pang red flag yung bukas tataas na. Ngayon, 10%.
Minamadali.
Bukas, 1% na lang. Magbilis kayo, madali. Yan yung boiler room style. Yan yung minamadali kayo. Pag kami mga ganyan, kabahan din kayo. Kung sakali nakapasok kayo doon sa chat group, tandaan nyo, malamang kayo lang ang victim doon, the rest kasama nila. Magsasabihan sila na, uy, thank you po, natanggap namin yung magpapakita pa ng cheque yon. Pero nag-iisa ka lang doon. Lahat yung kakuntsaba. Yun yung ilang red flags. Sigurado ako may dadagdag pa si sir.
Okay, Director.
Marami na nasabi si Director Phil. Pero dadagdag ko lang siguro, may mga na-encounter kami na gumagamit sila ng mga social influencers. No? So siguro nakita naman natin previously na may mga artista kasama sila ron sa panghihikayat na mag-join do sa investment.
May lumabas po sa news ngayon na merong 5 o 6 na influencers na kakasuhan ng CICC. Kasama po ba yun sa mga sinasabi nyo?
Siguro kung ma-involve sila ron sa investment scheme na ino-offer nila, medyo mag-isip na tayo. Tama yung sinasabi ng previous speakers na we need to investigate talaga. Alamin nating mabuti kung viable ba o feasible ba yung business model nila. Doon tayo mag-start. At saka yung problema kasi nating Pilipino, yung yung gullible tayo. Yung madali tayong maniwala.
Lalo
Can
na po pag
easily
nag-I love you baby in the
Yes,
morning.
oo.
Good morning baby, how are you today? Marami pong nadadala niyan. Kasama po ba yun?
Kasama po yun. Plus po yung yung...
Bakit kayo tumatawa? Meron nag-good morning baby sa inyo pag umaga? Marami po, may nahuli na po ba kayo?
Meron na. Hindi, ay dugtong ko rin yung tayong mga Pilipino kasi minsan talagang madali tayong maniwala. Plus yung traits natin ba na greed. Minsan nahulog tayo sa scamming kasi nagiging tayo, yung easy money ba? Kasi all of those things na naloko tayo because we need easy money. Yan yung basic na nakita ko, tsaka yung madali tayong ma-deceive.
I want a show of hands. Sino ditong may kilala na scam? Taas ang kamay. May kilala. Hindi kayo huwag kayong matatakot. Hindi kayo may kilala na scam. Okay, second question. Sino ang na-scam na? Yung photographer natin na-scam na. Si Kokoy na-scam na. Pero kasi, yung mga na-scam na, minsan, ayaw mag-come forward. Diba, Kom? Ayaw, kasi nakakahiya. Lalo na minsan kung nasa upper level of society. Kasi hindi po yung nasa ibaba lang ang nasa scam. All levels, all income levels. Attorney John and Attorney Vien, paano pag na-scam ka na? Ano na ang mangyayari? Siyempre, yung mga dumaan na sa experience na ito, meron ka ng stress, parang nawawalan ka ng pag-asa kasi kailan mo makukuha yung pera, maibabalik pa ba sa'yo yan? Paano kung wala kang pera to go after them? What would be the process and what should they do?
First and foremost kasi, when we talk about scams, they're not just like what everybody talks about na investment scam, but of course, that's where the Howey test comes from. There are a lot of scams like what the directors in ComJV mentioned na may yung boiler room, kay mga high-pressure sales tactics. Meron pang sinasabi na, this one, I really learned it from Attorney Oliver when I was with the SEC, yung meron pang painting the tape, marking the close, things that are happening on the PSE side naman, involving mga brokers and dealers. Meron pang, ano ibig sabihin ng painting the tape? Ticker tape yon. Ano pa yung ibig sabihin na daisy chain? Similar to yung mga chain mail, chain letter, yung mga ganon. And the reason why there are a lot of scams is like, you're right, nobody comes forward. I remember we started this, when I was with the SEC before, we started this for a long, long time ago already, informing the public that do not just rely on, okay, we're SEC registered, but ang ipapakita nila, certificate of incorporation. Hindi, that's the primary license. What they should look for as investors is yung secondary license, yung permit to sell na. And I think that's where they're coming from, yung mga scammers na pinapahirapan kami ng SEC. And that's the point that Commissioner JV is trying to raise na, maraming requirements to get that secondary license because we want to make sure na yung pagkukuhanan mo ng pera ay not only na may pera, is they're able to provide for the investment return. And that's why Attorney Gabato and I came up with the Securities Regulation Code na book because it is our way of giving back to the SEC and helping the SEC inform everybody, okay, these are the things you have to look out, this is what the law provides, and this is what you have to be careful for. So the SEC will not know that these things are happening if nobody reports. And so that's why we really highly support the SEC in these kinds of programs because wala talagang nothing, the SEC won't be able to help you if nobody comes forward.
What's the process po, Attorney Vian?
Okay.
Where should they go?
Okay, good afternoon. Good afternoon. Before we start, meron lang akong gustong i-springboard. Okay, I think kanina may nabanggit sila, Director, about yung frequency of victims eh. Kung napapansin natin, the target of victims of these scams, they are usually hindi naman mayayaman. Usually, it's the common folk. Yung tipong, because, of course, may iba greed eh, nabanggit kanina eh. But maybe it's not also greed. Although I believe also na greed. But it's more on, syempre gusto natin dumoble yung pera eh. There is this enticement that you wanted to get rich quick eh. I mean, maybe it's not greed, but sometimes it's an expectation eh na ay, gusto ko dumoble yung pera ko. So nangyayari, na-engage sila.
Baka gusto nga lang umangat lang sa buhay ng kaunti di ba?
Ngayon, ma-engage ngayon sa ganong scam, especially let's say for example, pyramiding. And the problem sometimes with that is, example, if you engage in pyramiding, you usually ask mga kamag-anak mo, mga neighbors mo. Di syempre lahat kayo covered na nung scam, di ba? So, marami mabibiktima, mamumultiply yung biktima. Now, going back to sa question natin, how do we solve that? If we're going to look at it without the SEC, it's difficult because usually, yung mga scammer na yan, usually, may mga depensa yan eh. Sa korte, sabi nila, kontrata yan, nag-agree ka. So, pumasok ka sa kontrata, okay lang. Okay yan, hindi kami estapador, hindi kami manloloko. Ganun na nangyayaring trend eh. But it's good that the SEC has entered into the picture, especially in the regulation of investments. Kaya nga, kung napapansin natin ng SEC, even when we're still with Attorney Ranada sa SEC, although this was the time na nagsa-start na maging assertive ang SEC, di ba? Ngayon, common na eh. But noong time namin, doon nagsimula namang nag-i-issue ng SEC advisories on possible companies who are engaging into business but they do not have any secondary licenses. Now, yun yung first start. It's the SEC who now warns the public not to engage. Now, if that company or that entity is still engaging, it is recommended that the ones who are victimized to come forward with the appropriate complaints.
Attorney, ang hassle eh. Di ba?
No, but I think the
Ang
SEC kasi
hassle.
has a platform. You can just message the SEC through the website, and there's a part in the website that says any complaints, and it's very fast. So that, I would say that would be the first step.
So totoo yan, Attorney Filbert ha. If you email the SEC, you will get a reply. Hindi kayo mag-ghost.
May iMessage kami.
Please go ahead and jump in ha.
Nasa
Yes,
iMessage.
iMessage.
Meron din sa email sa EPD, Echo Papa Delta at SEC.gov.
Pwede bang hindi iPhone yung hawak ko di wala akong pang iMessage, Attorney Filbert?
iMessage.
iMessage is the name of SEC
Sa
for
website
that
na,
website. Okay. All right. So promise po yun Hindi kayo i-ghost ng SEC. So the first step, message SEC.
Yes.
Okay. May bayad po ba? That's the usual question. May gastos po ba to complain?
Sa amin, wala.
Okay, sa inyo wala.
Gastos mo lang papunta rito, siguro. Pamasahe mo, yung oras mo, yun lang talaga. You really have to spend time.
Pamasahe oras.
Ang problema kasi,
You will forgo your sweldo for the day.
O absent ka talaga kasi Sabado at Linggo wala naman kami.
Magpapalunch ka ba?
Sabay ganun.
Si Kong JB na...
Minsan may nag-request sa akin, minute ko siya ng Linggo. Kasi may trabaho siya ng nakikiusap
Guys,
sa-
dapat may...
Pinuntahan ko siya talaga. Hindi, sabi ko, sige, magkita tayo. Pinuntahan ko, pinapunta ko siya. Tapos sinet ko, para makausap ko siya. Kasi call center siya, weekdays lang daw siya talaga. Cool, sure.
Yan ang gobyerno. Serbisyong totoo. Okay. Director Genesis, pag sa inyo po ba lumapit, may bayad?
Siyempre wala po.
Akala ko, syempre
Serbisyong
meron.
totoo.
Okay. Serbisyong totoo
Ito
also.
magpapakain.
Siya magpapakain. O may libreng lunch. O snack lang, kape? Skyflakes?
Lahat yun. We can
Ah,
provide.
lahat,
Kasi,
okay.
alam nyo sa PAO kasi, nagbibigay kami ng logistical support sa mga iba-ibang agencies that we facilitated yung collaboration and coordination para ma-actionan tong mga reklamo. So, isa lang din yon sa mga responsibility ng unit namin.
After this panel, si Direk Wilbert, 300 emails na.
Okay lang daw because that is the service of the SEC. JV.
Yeah, well, yeah, just to reinforce, no? Kasi actually dati, gaya ng sabi ni Atty. Ranada, most of the time it's really, we wait for the complaints. But we said, with the technology now, na ang daming scams online, meron na rin kaming, we set up a cyber forensics division under EIPD. Talagang proactive, naghanap na. Para sa level pa lang nung nagpo-post pa lang, wala pang nagrereklamo, nag-advisory ng sila Philbert, no, Direk Philbert. So we're investing a lot now on our enforcement side. No? Gawa ng digitalized na, automated yung registration system. So it's two-pronged approach now, focus on investor information, education, and enforcement. A lot now on our enforcement side. No? Gawa ng digitalized na, automated yung registration system. So it's two-pronged approach now, focus on investor information, education, and enforcement. No? So gaya nung sabi nila, marami na tayong avenues to enforce, and we're very happy with our work with PAOK, no, very helpful talaga. We were able to shut down a lot of firms, sir. Pati, not only that, naka-file talaga tayo ng mga kaso. Di ba? There we have a lot of pending cases with the DOJ and the courts. To hold people accountable. Kasi kung hanggang advisory lang tayo, parang okay, mawawala lang din after a while.
Kailangan may makulong.
May makulong. Oo.
Ang maganda ngayon, hindi lang yung kami lang nag-iisa, SEC lang. Talagang ngayon, nagtutulungan na PAOK, NBI, PNP. Nagkaroon nga kami ng raid with PAOK na magkasama yung PNP at saka NBI. Imagine niyo yun. Siyempre may turf war yan, pero hindi. Maganda, tuloy. Which is, magandang example yun kasi I think the government wants to show that we're talking na.
Yeah.
Pangalawa, we're cooperating. Oy, scammers, kung akala nyo hindi kami nag-usap, sinasamantala nyo, umanda kayo. Ngayon nag-uusap na kami. Yung ganun.
That's great to know. Attorney John, Attorney Vian, a lot of people are scared of lawyer fees. A lot of people are scared that when they file a case, they don't know what documents to have. Paano nga ba sinusulat yung affidavit, di ba? A lot of these things are intimidating to the ordinary individual. What would be your advice?
Well, number one, huwag ma-intimidate. Siyempre,
Sa babayaran.
Hindi, pag scam naman usually, bakit mo pasisingil na scam na nga eh, di ba? But well, yung initial complaint nila, syempre, yung isalaysay nila, wala namang problema. Of course, making it in an affidavit form would be more on the formalities. But what's important is example, yung screenshot ng text messages, ma-produce naman na ngayon eh. Ang rules of evidence naman na ngayon, it's already accessible now to electronic documents. So everything, your GCash transactions, kailan mo pinasa, yung amount to be sent, you can already document that already. And I think that would be enough to gather the evidence. But of course, syempre, kung may lawyer kayo, syempre, kung example, sasamahan sa SEC, sa EIPD, it's important kasi doon magsisimula yun eh. Once kasi na ma-establish na there is an anomaly or there's a scam going on, may finding si EIPD, dire-diretso na yun eh. Kasi mangyayari, it's a necessity to have that because kung abogado, kikilos lang kami sa court, baka matalo. But we need to have the participation of the SEC because we're tinatawag tayo sa administrative law na parang we need to put that into parang i-exhaust mo yung remedies mo para ma-establish mo, para pag akit mo sa korte, sa next level, you'll be able to get the necessary convictions if ever. Or, syempre, yung iba gusto nila ma-restitute yung kanilang mga inipon nila na pinang-invest.
Next question for Com JV and Attorney Joanne. The other most important question that most investors na na-scam are asking, maibabalik ba sa akin yung pera ko? Nagitian na muna silang dalawa. Maibabalik ba? Paano natin sasagutin yun? Oh, nagkamot na lang ng ulo si Director Philbert. Okay, Philbert, go ahead.
Ganito yan. Mas mabilis, mas may possibility bumalik kapag maaga pa lang. Hindi ka pa nag-invest, nagtatanong ka na, mahahabol ka agad yun. Meron kaming nangyaring raid in the past, sa Sambuanga yata yun. 2 months lang yung 2-month-old lang yung kumpanya. Nung ni-raid with NBI, we got 32 million. Kumbaga may nakuha kaming pera. Yung mga ganon, kailangan mabilis lang talaga. So pag mas maganda sana yung habang maaga, sabihin ka agad, hindi yun na-scam na, yung umaasa pa na baka makuha pa. Kasi ganun ang gagawin scammer, paasahin ka. Para tumagal habang tinatanggal na nila yung pera. Pero hanggang kaya pa, kung pwede, magsabi na kagad sa amin. Kasi marami kayong matutulungan na tao kapag nag-report kayo agad. Okay? At saka may bagong batas ngayon, yung AFASA, yung Anti-Financial Account Scamming Act, na pwede na natin makuha yung mga information sa bangko. Hanggang saan na withdraw, pwede nang gamitin yun.
Mas mabilis ma-freeze.
May 30-day freeze doon.
At least information lang muna.
In fact, kaya na ng yung depositor, sila mismo mag-report sa kanilang level pa lang. Pero mas maganda kung may support sa amin, sa mga law enforcement agencies that will say, oo nga, scam to, para mapahold ka agad. Tapos tutulong na kami sa Anti-Money Laundering Council para yung ganon. Pero ang gandun lang kaya namin. Pero pag huli na, yun, mahirap.
Naubos na.
Mahirap mangako.
Nakalayas na.
Mahirap mangako.
Yeah, that's those that do not have secondary licenses. Now, what about those that have secondary licenses that talagang they're really trading? Mga security scam na involving PSE. Well, I know that I was speaking to one of the board of directors of this department or this organization from the PSE na para silang, they're able to return, para silang PDIC, a certain amount of investment to the investors in the stock exchange na na-scam. But that would only refer to those with secondary licenses na na-scam, but not to ordinary corporations na na-scam.
Ngayon, lightning round before we end. Sisimulan natin kay Director Genesis. Para sa publiko, ano ang inyong #1 biggest advice para makaiwas ang ating viewers sa scam?
Of course, dapat maging suspityoso tayo. Kasi hindi natin alam kung negative o positive trait yun. But this time, that would be a positive for us, no? We need to investigate, maniguro tayo doon sa ating papasukin. At higit sa lahat, implore the aid of God Almighty. Kasi lahat ng desisyon natin, minsan nagkukulang tayo dahil hindi tayo mahihiling ng tulong sa Diyos of how we are going to be guided. So, let's take it as a good advice na dumulog tayo sa Diyos every time na we make a big decision para sa finances natin, anything about our families.
Masyadong trusting ang mga Pilipino, di ba? Simula tayo sa iyo ulit papunta dito.
Okay, I'll plug na rin. Okay, there are lots of scams. We're not just limited to everything that the Howie test provides for investment contracts. And that's the reason specifically, ipa-plug ko na rin to ng konti, why Attorney Gabato and I made our book is because we wanted to show everybody na hindi lang ito ang pwedeng ma-scam. There are a lot of different classes of scams na pwede mangyari na hindi alam ng tao na scam na pala yun. And we also wanted the ordinary public to understand where the SEC is coming from. So parang be informed, like what the first panel was focusing on a while ago. Be informed before you do anything that bibigay nyo sa kanila yung pera. And that is how we are giving back also to the SEC.
Okay, ang masasabi ko dyan, raise your red flags. Especially pag may nagsabi sa inyong, open-minded ba kayo?
Power.
Yes. Diba? May mga certain may mga things na alam mo kung lalapitan ka. Ang lagi iti-take advantage sa'yo is yung confidence nyo. So, kung sa tingin nyo binobola kayo, sa tingin nyo iniintais kayo lahat ng bagay, inihikayat kayo. Gusto kayo maging open-minded kahit na hindi naman pala tama, di ba? Red flag agad yon. So, you raise your red flags. Walang masama na maging careful. Especially kung ang bibitawan mo yung pinaghirapan yung pera para sa investment.
Pwede sumingit. Very short kwento lang. I was with SEC already before. May nagbenta sa akin ng timeshare na alam ko hindi naman registered sa SEC. So my thinking was, alam mo naman na taga-SEC ako, sigurado ka magbebenta ka sa akin.
Hindi siya nag-research.
Alam niya.
Alam niya na taga-SEC ka.
Yes.
So sometimes the people who recommend, hindi rin sila masyadong aware,
Yes.
I guess.
Yes.
Ikaw ba, Attorney Philbert, meron na sa'yong nagyaya ng coffee para i-offer sa'yo ang isang investment opportunity?
Yeah, meron noon. Family first yata yun.
Okay, kilala ko din yan.
Nag-invest ako, pero naka-withdraw ako, huwag ka mag-alala. Sa awa ng Diyos. Kasi isa ako sa mga nauna. Yung advice ko, huwag kayong mahiyang mag-say no. Kahit pinakain ka doon sa family first, nakakahiya, papalakpakan ka talaga. We would like to welcome our newest member. Nahiya, na-pressure ka. Those are boiler room styles. Mga yun yung naano kayo. Huwag kayong mahiyang mag-no. Okay lang yan. Kahit pinakain kayo. Huwag kayong mahiya.
At least libre ka ng dinner.
Okay lang yun. Basta minsan may mga raffle-raffle pa yan. Okay lang. Huwag kayong mahiya mag-no. Kahit nyo yung nag-o-offer sa inyo, sabi niya kanina may mga endorsers. Kahit nakita nyo na nag-invest, alagad ng batas yan, mayor yan, congressman yan, whatever, wala kayong pakailam kasi pera nyo to. Pera nyo, pagka may 3 bagay mawawala sa inyo. Pera, relasyon, at saka freedom. Bakit? Pera, dahil nag-invest ka, wala. Relasyon, kasi sigurado ako matulungin ang Pinoy. Yayayain mo lahat ka mag-anak mo kasi we want everyone to go up with us. So, masisira relasyon nyo pagka na-scam kayo lahat. Ano yung pangatlo? Freedom mo kasi kakasuhan ka namin. Kasi nagbenta ka ng securities na hindi ka rehistrado, Section 28 yun. So, gusto ba yan? So, ang advice ko lang, sa dami ng scam, advance fee scam, may cryptocurrency scam, may love scam, umpisahan kayo doon. Tapos
Yan nga, good morning, baby.
ayun, gaganunin ka muna. Tapos, ang importante lang, huwag kayong mahiyang magsabing no. Okay? Just say
no daw.
Okay? Yun lang.
Com JV, ikaw naman.
Siguro, parang marami nang nasabing ibang ano. No?
Com
But-
JV,
but, yeah.
singit muna ako before you give your final. I remember that this is new, na pati yung nag-invite, pwede nang kasuhan ng SEC.
Yes,
This is during
yes.
your term here.
Correct, yes. So not just yung not just the companies, but the individuals who enticed you, di ba? Kasama yon sa ano. So in fact, if you expand it even further, even yung let's say, just provided the venue, di ba? Ay, binagamit ko yung bahay ko. Hindi naman ako nag-alok pero nasa bahay ko. Alam mo naman na so aiding and abetting din yun. So I think overall, knowledge, information, investor education is your best shield, no, against scams. So it's very important that mapanuri kayo kasi malamang sa malamang pag nabigay niyo na at nabigay niyo na yung pera niyo sa scammer, malamang sa malamang maaring makulong yun, pero yung pera nyo, water na, babay na. kulong, pero yung pera nyo, wala. So, when in doubt, check with SEC, check with SEC. Meron na kaming app. You can call us, you can message us. Madali lang. So you can protect your investments, you can protect your future, you can protect yourself, your relationships, your money, and
Your freedom.
freedom.
Okay.
Oo.
Thank you so much, our esteemed panelists. Ngayon naman, 3 tanong lang from the audience. Baka meron sa inyong gustong mag-take advantage of this very rare moment. Okay, meron na agad. Okay. Name and school.
Yeah. Hello po, I'm Robert from San Beda University. And I'm a economics and public policy student. So, since we have a subject called public policy formulation, I'm just gonna ask also pertaining to our policy formulation on cryptocurrency as well. So, given the rapid rise of crypto-based scams targeting Filipinos, especially through social media and unregistered exchanges, how is the SEC currently monitoring cryptocurrency activities? And what regulatory mechanisms are being developed to protect investors in this evolving space?
Parang, okay. Si Attorney Philbert.
Okay. Una, meron ng CASPI rules na inisyo ang SEC para magkaroon ng sandboxing para mapasok na kung sino yung gustong pumasok sa atin to sa crypto trading and everything para masubukan nung small scale lang para maintindihan natin, maintindihan ng as regulators kung paano yung business na yan, paano nila palalaguin, etc. Yun. So, meron tayong rules, yung policy-wise. Ano pa yung ginagawa namin? Yung advisories nga namin. Kasi pagka normal yan, hindi registered yan eh. Kasi yung CASPI rules nga, yun yun nga yung magpaparegister ng mga trading platforms. So, pag hindi siya registered, inaano na kagad namin yan. Advisories ka, pinapablock namin agad yan. Pero sa policy-wise, at least meron na kaming CASPI rules, more or less mag-uumpisa na dun sa business na yan. So,
This is recent also, no? It just came out this year ba o last year? This year. So, kung kaya nilang pumasa, then they will be registered with the SEC and allowed to operate. Kung hindi, then they will not be allowed and there will be advisories against them. So especially, I guess, for young individuals who like crypto, you might want to check first if they are actually registered with the SEC. Medyo hot news ito kasi when we were covering this, merong mga platforms na nagalit kasi they were asked to stop operating. All right. Second question. Yes po. Name and school.
Good afternoon. I'm Jestron from De La Salle University, Manila. First off, I want to thank you guys for a very fruitful panel discussion. So, my question is, how does the SEC monitor online platforms to detect fraudulent schemes?
Ooh, tough questions. I don't want to have to answer these things. Ang hirap.
Pwede ba sabihin yun? And anyway.
General lang, Attorney Philbert, para
General
hindi
lang.
alam ng bad guys.
Kaya may coordination naman kami sa lahat ng mga agencies na may capabilities. Meron din naman kami. So lahat ng mga PAO, SEC, meron kaming mga coordination meetings with them. May assistance na hiningi kami. There are certain things kasi na wala kami pang yung technology na yan. So, natutulungan kami sa monitoring. Pangalawa, kami actively, yung mayroon akong dedicated person, hindi naman persons, or group, that will really monitor yung online space online space. Medyo mahina pa siguro yon, pero we are trying to invest on technology to make it faster. Meron din kaming mga agreements with social media networks na para tulungan din kami sa pagtanggal ng mga pag-identify. Medyo meron naman kami ganun. We're given the power to really ask for blocking and block pati sa NTC, pati websites and yan. Kasi minsan, wala sila sa social media, babanat sila gagawa sila sa sariling website. Or te-text ka, nandun na yung bit.ly nila or something.
Pwede yun hindi public, no? They just
Oo.
give the link to people.
Bibigyan ka lang ng link, tapos na. Yun na yun. Ayan na naman tayo, dadagdagan na. Click. Think before you click. Ganun din yun eh. So yun po yung ginagawa namin. Marami pang iba na hindi ko naman pwede ikwento. Sana maintindihan mo.
Pao, would like to answer?
Gusto ko lang i-relay kasi sa PNP we have the anti-cybercrime group, no? We just heard last year or years ago, they already have this cyber patrol na tinatawag. So they keep on monitoring yung mga ganyang activities sa cyber, no? And we also rely on basically dun sa complaints na dumarating sa office, no? Kasi we cannot act on something na wala namang magko-complain. So basically, nasa tao pa rin na yung magko-complain. Doon pa rin tayo pupunta if ever we'd like to suppress these kinds of activities.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yes, sagot lang ko from the outside looking in eh. Kasi ang sagot nila more on regulatory. Address ko rin siya at saka yung tanong kanina about sa crypto. I think naman most of you, especially mga techies, I know, example crypto, di ba? You're using blockchain eh. Ang blockchain, kung mapapansin nyo, number one, andun yung paper trail lahat sa blockchain eh. Kahit anong gawin mong kalokohan, naka-trail pa rin siya eh. Kaya alam mo kung examples na na scam, may scam or may nagtago ng pera sa crypto. I think I can also suggest that kailangan yung community, yung para magkaroon ng, kasi may business community tayo eh. I hope that yung cryptocurrency community magkaroon talaga ng parang genuine identity na it would also help yung SEC, yung ating mga enforcement agencies in order to detect sino ba talaga yung nagsascam. And also, it would also kasama encouragement na rin yun na we can invest in, let's say, crypto or other online investments safely. And there would always be this assurance that there would always be the regulatory agencies to help in possibly going after this possible scammers.
Thank you so much for the question. Answered already. I think like JV keeps saying, the internet is a big, big place. And just like the physical world, it's hard to police everything. Kaya important pa din yung yung financial literacy and financial education. Final question, name, school, question.
So, good evening. I am Pamela. I am from the De La Salle University. So, my question would be in line with the previous question and the answer of the panelist, where they emphasize the emergence of technology in our society nowadays. So, I would like to ask, what is the steps that the SEC is taking, most especially that the emergence of the AI is now very prevalent. So how are the sectors of the Filipino population, for example, the oldies who are not that techies, how are the SEC protecting these sector of the Filipino people in order for them to not get scammed? Because of course, us who are youngsters and very much exposed to technology, we can check if it is AI generated, most especially the certificates. But how about those, as I've said, oldies who cannot distinguish what is AI generated or not AI generated certificates?
What a great question, except I cringed all the time at the word oldie. I felt attacked. Okay, but no, that's good, that's good. This is a very good question. AI is getting better and better. I have a deepfake AI somewhere on the internet, pero that time, yung bibig ko, parang hindi pa niya nagagaya. Ngayon, doesn't look like that anymore. JV, ikaw na sagot.
Yes, well, that's why very important talaga yung, just like I said, we're focusing a lot on investor information, investor education, no? Precisely because, and we do this on many different fronts, no? In fact, we have a what we call the SEC campaign network, no? It's conglomeration of, it's handled by yung Strategic Partnership and Advocacy Division, MISPAD. We have a specific division under our External Affairs Department that handles that, the information dissemination. We also have the SEC ASTIG, which I actually forget what it means. but it's under kay Philbert yan, but it's a coordination with the LGUs, diba? So that we're able to cascade information, and we're also able to get information from them, no, regarding these things. Yes, we acknowledge, kasi nga exactly, not everyone is online, diba? For even here sa registration namin, we have our own help desk, because although all our registration systems are digital and online, hindi marunong yung iba eh. I acknowledge naman yun. So we really have physical desks to help out, no? And so that is our push, really, no? To educate as many Filipinos as we can. But moving forward, we're also partnering with DepEd, and well, we're also in talks with Congress, because the intention really is to be able to pass a law that will mandate investor education as part of senior high school curriculum. Para yung mga millennials and the rest, moving forward, talagang bata pa lang, alam na.
Millennials, katulad ko? Katulad
natin.
Okay. Katulad natin. Thank you so much, everybody. Pasalamatan natin ang ating panelists for a beautiful discussion. Maybe next year, dapat may senior citizens group. ComJV, invite natin yung seniors dito sa Investor Protection Week next year. Thank you so much. Maraming palakpakan po natin ang ating mga guests. Attorney Ranada, Attorney Vian, Director Jen, Attorney Philbert, ComJV. Maybe one more step forward for the photo op, and then we'll ask ComJV to lead the handing out of certificates to his co-panelists.